Hello everyone, we want to repeat what we did in class, and then afterwards I'll go through the part 2 of the homework. Begin by saving the file. Go here and save file, save as engineering graphics. It's a class activity, so already I work along for there. Okay, so save it as work along 4. I'll say 4B for myself because I have already a file name 4. Yeah, so we want to draw this. We want to do this drawing that we did in class, and I'll begin by setting up the layers. So when you double click on the layers, so go back there, double click on layers, and then we come to this panel new. The first thing we want to have is our outline. Click on it. Outline. And for the color, you click on the color, we want to make it red like it is in the textbook. And we change the line width to 0.4 because that should be thick for the drawing. And the next one will be a center line. So center. Next one is a center line. And we give it a white color. And we make the line width lighter. And we come here and change the line type. So if you don't see, we say load and we look for center line. Okay. Then the third one will be for the dimension. So dimension line, or we can change this to default. Okay. So now that we have set our layers for the 3 lines, we start drawing. We pick the line, set the proper layer. We want to draw the outline. And so we select line. It says start point X is 2 and Y is 0, comma, and 0, 10 rather, Y is 10, 2 and 10, enter. And then we go on to put in the dimensions 1.5 and 1.5 in this direction. And so we move our mouse in the direction we're going. And the next one will be 2 from calculation. The next one is 1.5. And the next one is 1.5. And the next one will be 2. And we stop here. So from the drawing, we know that from this top to the center of the circle in the image is 6. We go to offset, and we say 6, enter. 6 and enter. Okay, so select the first line down. So this is the center line of the circle. It's not part of the shape we're trying to draw. So this means that this line will be a center line. So I'm going to select it and come here and select center for it. And it doesn't change because I didn't describe my line well. So if I come here, line type center, I need to pick this for center line. Okay, so now it shows like a center line. And if I come here and select center line, like the line, I want to have the vertical center line, but it doesn't show me in my middle. So if it doesn't show you a triangle, when you hover here, you come to this and right click, then you click at this, left click, and you check, ensure that your midpoint is on. My midpoint is on, but my snap is not on. So I'll click on that to put it on. Okay. When I come here, I can see the triangle. this, I can continue drawing. I'm going to show us the image again to see that we have this vertical line and this horizontal line. And so I will draw the smaller circle. Before I do that, I'll go back to the red because circle is in red. So I pick the circle and this is the starting point. I click here and it has a diameter of 1. So that means the radius is half of 1, 0.5. This is the circle. And then the second circle has a diameter of the radius of 1.5. So click on circle and put 1.5. So now we can go on up from here. But before we do that, we will trim the unwanted areas. So this circle is a semicircle in the diagram. So we go to trim and we trim off the parts we do not want. We click the line and continue this up. Draw it for as long as you want and then tap your space bar to repeat the command. And we have this height of this line. So the beautiful thing about that is that you can mirror it. So we can finish one side and then mirror it. So this angle here is at 45 degrees. So we pick the line, come here and ensure that we have, so if you look here, you see 135. That is the unit that works on this side. And if you want to confirm that 135 works, we will check the angular dimension to make sure that this is 45. Or we'll use our dimension layer, go to annotate and pick the angular and do as it is in the drawing for 135, right? So now that we have this side, we can begin to do the fillet to get the curves. When we get it, we can mirror it on this other side. So I'm going to delete this and this so that when we're done, we can mirror it. Okay, so from the book, it says at the top here, we have 0.75 fillet. So I'll go to the fillet command, which is this. And then it will ask us, what do we want to use to draw this? And I'll say R for radius, enter. So specifying the radius is 0.75. I say enter, and it says select the first object. I select the first one, and select the second object, 0.75. And so the other radius is 0.5, and the other one is 1. Okay, so this fillet radius is 1. So I'll do the same thing, fillet R, and in this case, I'm putting 1 instead of 0.75. So I select the two lines, that goes with that. And this edge is 0.5 fillet radius. Well, no, I need to do this part also. So this is 0.5 and this is 0.5. So I'll go for fillet again and R 0.5. Tap my space bar to repeat 0.5. So I have the two of them. So once we have this part of it, we can mirror it. So I'm going to draw a box. I click and then I move my mouse. I need the straight line too, so as is it. And when I select that, it's a mirror. Click at the center line and I drop it. It says erase source objects. No. So you can mirror and delete the previous one or keep them. So when you look at this, the lines are squiggly. That means they're not straight. So I undo it and repeat it again. And repeat it. So I delete this line so it doesn't double. And I come back and mirror and make sure that my hand doesn't shake when I'm doing this. So straight line, erase source object, no, enter. So when we look at it this time, straight, and then we can select this line and bring it to end at this point. We'll click on it and drag it to this one. So there it's complete. So the next thing we want to do is dimension the whole shape. We have the angle only on one side, so we can select this and delete. And we'll pick linear, start from the top to the bottom. The first thing is 5. If we want it to be 5.0, we can go to annotate here, click on this arrow dimensions, modify, and we come to primary units, precision, set it to 1 because we're doing 0.75. Okay, we have a 0.75, so we set it to 2 decimal places and say okay. And set current and close. So it still was 5.00. And now we continue dimensioning, so we want to get the straight one out here. So click on this to here, and we can see continue dimensioning and here, and then we come to this vertical measurement here to this point, it's 1.5. And tap your space bar to repeat the command to the end of the line. I don't know if we limit to, because of the channel file, it gives us 2. What we can do is drag it to the 2. That's 2.15. Okay. This is manual one. We're going to do the 6 from the top to this middle, the 6. And then for those diameters, if we come here, we will see diameter symbol here. Take it out. I have to tell us that this symbol for diameter, and then we go back here for radius and we pick this, and then tap here, 5, okay, 1, so on and so forth. So if you get the idea, you can do this drawing and then send to me. We'll move on to the part 2 homework. File, new, and a card. Use a new file, we save it as what text we should save it as. I'm going back to the textbook to check what the name should be. Introduction to drafting. Go back to part 2 competency test. Says the file should be named AutoCAD Lab 2. Okay, so go back here, save it as, copy that and paste it in here, Lab 2 to save. Right, and then the first thing I do is I set my layers. So new layer, the first one will be outline. We click on the start typing and to show, and to be red as in the book, and we're going to make it it's normally a continuous line, so leave it okay. And we'll make it a 0.4 because it is supposed to be the thickest line. And the next one will be, we have outline. The next thing we'll have is we have dashed lines, so I'm going to call them dashed lines and assign them a white color. and reduce the line width to 0.05. And the third one will be dimension line continuous. The dash line will be dashed. So we need to load the dash line. Okay. So dash line. Okay, always check. And then close. So in order to start the drawing, we start with the layer that is on, which is the outline. And so if we click on line, the start point is, well, before we start, this is to be done in millimeters. So we go to units. And these units, we change our scale to millimeters. And then, okay. So now we can draw in millimeters as the question says. So the first point of the line is 55,125. Enter. It's far away from me. In order for this not to happen, I will escape and make my zoom in to the sheet. And then I pick my line again and put the first point 55,125. Enter. So because I zoom in, it's like increasing the size of the paper. 55,125. So the next point, if I go up this way, is 31. And zoom into that. And the next point doesn't give us a dimension there, so I'll escape here and then pick my line tool to draw the horizontal line. I'm going to draw a horizontal line this way too. Doesn't show the length of that line. So one thing we know is that the whole width is 100. So I'm going to go for offset and specify the offset distance as 100. So we know the total width is 100 this way. And do we know the total height? There's no total height. So at this point, I'll start drawing from this angle now. This circular, so let me bring the picture so that you can see what I'm saying. From here, this is 100. And from here, we can do these curves. Because if we look at this, it says 20 up here. From here to here, we don't know. But do we know the radius? Yes, so this is 55 radius. This is 50 radius. This is 60 radius. So using this radii, we will draw circles. So I click on the circle, come here, and the first circle says it is 50. So I'm going to type in 50, enter. And so I want to trim it to that quadrant that I need. So I'm going to come to chamfer. We have fillet, we have chamfer. So for chamfer, it will say specify distance. If I say D, enter, and it's at 0. So continue at 0, but then I can do this. And then I can drag this one up. So that's I'll trim off this side, and what I'll be left with is the part I want. So I'll go to trim and click on it, and it disappears. So we have the first curve. So we'll do the same for another circle. The second circle is 60. So 60 radius, and that's it. So trim that off again. And then we have a central line for some circles in there. So click at the edge. And that radius is 55. 55, enter. So I have those 3 lines, but this one is not like the other one. So I'm going to use the dashed line for it. Okay. And then I will trim So in order to position, I'll trim these sides at the end because I still need them. In order to position the small circles that are inside, let me show you. In order to position these small circles that are inside, we will use the angles. It tells us that this first circle is at 10 degrees from vertical. The second one is at 27. And this other tinier circle is at 13. So we need to position them. So I'll come over here and get a line 2, or type in the line. I click at the spot. And the first one is at 10 degrees. So if you move your mouse, look at where the origin is 90. 90 plus 10 will be 100. So I'm looking to get to 100, and this is 100. So if you hover there, you see 100. To draw that, I hit my space bar and I click. The second one is 27 away from that. That means it's 127 away. So I'm going to do this. 127. And then the next one is 16 away from it. So 127 plus 16 is 143. So click on the line. Click on the line and let's look out for 143. Click. And the last one is 13 degrees away from this line. So spacebar. And from here, this is 180. 180 minus 13 will give us what? 180 minus 10 is 170. And then 3, 167 is what we're looking out for. So 167, click, good. Now, for the small circles, they have their own diameters. So I want to draw the first circle. I think the smallest circle is right here. It tells us that the diameter is 2. That means the radius is 1. 2 over 2 is 1. So I do 1 and enter. That's the circle. Hit my space bar again for another circle. Come to this point. It tells us that the radius of that circle, okay, the remaining 3 circles have the same diameter, which is 5. So the radius, maybe we should work with diameter. So we'll say D for diameter, and then we put the 5, okay? And so instead of drawing the other circles, I can copy it. So I click on this, copy from the center and drop here and here. So after drawing these circles, we have construction lines. These lines appear as they appear differently from the dashed line, so we need to create another layer for this. So click on this, and I say new layer. I'm going to name this as hidden. No, not hidden. Center lines. The center lines for the circle. Center. Okay, and they're usually light. So 0.5. Okay. So make them center lines. Load. We're going to load center lines that appear with the dash. That's good. So, okay, center, okay. So I'm going to close this and I'll select all these lines and make them center lines. This is not changing because this is not saying by layer. My center line is red. I need to change it to white. Center to another color. Can make it interesting, even though they are black there. Let's do another color so that it looks different. Okay. And we see that my center lines are extending over the end. They should end here. So I'll click on that. Anyway, you want something to end, click on the line and then go for trim. That way I can trim it to that line. So now that we have this, we can go ahead and trim this line and use the center line to draw it. So trim here and here, and then change the layer to center. And so we are done with this edge. The next thing we want to do, how high? This is 20 from here. So I'm going to use the outline and draw a horizontal line set by 20, because that place is 20 millimeters high. So once I know that is this point, I'll adjust this to 20, or I trim it. Now that I have 20, I can delete this too. And we need to move up. So it says that the next line is 30 degrees from the horizontal. So if I start at this point, the angle is 90. Going this way will be 120. So at 120, I click. That's the direction. And it says that the distance is 35. So what I should have done is get my line 120 in this direction, and then type in 35 so that I don't have to trim or guess. So that is a 35 distance line. I go in this direction 20, and then I need to go, the angle between these two is 120. Right now is 90. So if I make it 120, 120, and then the length is 9, enter. The next is 25, enter. The next one is 15 at an angle of 35. So this is 35 at 180. If I go up, it's 160. So 180 minus 35 is 145. So I move till I get to 145. At 145, the length is 115, enter. And then I go for 15 again. And then coming down this way. So these angles here are really awkward, so we have to find a way to draw them without making mistakes, okay? So I'm going to escape at this point and then try to figure out this point and the circles in the middle, and we're done. So we have hidden lines, we need to use that. So go to the dashed lines, and in the drawing we see that we can connect. So go to line, connect these dots from here to here, spacebar from here to the second circle, spacebar from this edge to this end here. Doesn't quite end at the end, we'll stop at the end, it's kind of hanging. So here, and we have an edge from the edge to the center of this point, okay? Now, looking out for extra dimensions so that we don't make mistakes. We need to be careful from this top. It says it's at an angle of 45 degrees. No. So I have this height of 31, and we have this Z going in. It's puzzling. Put a line here. change my line width first. Point line. No, the line inside is 50 and this is 31. Okay. So if this is, the one inside is 50 and the one outside is 31, there's an overlap. So we do, to know how much is more, we'll do 25 and 31. Yes. This from here to here is 25. And from here to here is 31. Yes, that is the extra. So this was hard to figure out. My notes take it off. So from here to here is 31, and from here to here is 50, and then say half of that is 25. So to get this from this point to this point will be 31 minus 25, and that will be 6. So that way we can draw that angle. So we know that this is 31. I'm going to draw a line here and offset by 6. Okay, and we know that that angle is 45 degrees from the top here. Now the angle, yes, from the vertical it is 45 degrees. So I'll get a line and come down. So from here it should be 45 degrees. The horizontal is 0. So 0 to 45. No, this is 45 exactly, yes. So I'll delete this and then I'll pick a line and come up, and we know that this line is 50. So I'll offset 50 and trim off these edges. I'll be deleting this. And because this is 50, I can mirror this particular line back. Mirror it from here, center, and enter. I think that it's not straight. Yeah, it doesn't look straight. So I'm going to mirror it again. So we have that line, and then yes, we need to join these 2 points. Now we're on with the outline. Okay, when we've done this, then we go back to the dashed lines and follow the drawing. So from this point to this point, there's a line. And so we need to put in 2 circles, and it says they are 10 diameter in 2 places. 10 diameter in 2 places. So pick the circle, come to the center. We'll use the red line for this. Pick the outline, circle, come to the center, and we have 10 diameter. So D, enter 10. Once we've drawn one, we can copy. So copy, select what you want to copy, right click, pick from the middle, and copy it. So checking our drawing now. So you can see, are we missing out anything? All the lines in place. Yes. So now we can dimension. So go to the dimension tool, and then annotate. And since radius is on, do I have radius of anything? Yes, we have a radius of this line. Fix that in, and we see that it's not showing. It's not showing because we need to set the dimension styles. So come over here and modify and set the text to fit our drawing. Usually we can set it at 150. Okay. And set current and close. This is huge, so that's the wrong size. Go back, modify, 8. And that's too big, so I'm gonna make it there 15. Say okay, and set current, close. Okay, that is still too big. Oh, it's at 15. I'll make it half of that. So let's say 7, and okay, set current, close. So we'll take it outside the drawing so that we can see the drawing. Interesting. So the last one, I think is still too big, and modify to 5. So repeat dimension, radius. We have 3 radius, so 3 radius. We'll bring them outside. Repeat. And any other radius? No. So we want to measure the diameters now. So we have the diameters of these circles. And then we'll the smaller circles, 5 diameters in 3 places. So we need to dimension just 1, and then now we go to the outline. Aligned, and take care of the slanting ones. We need to set the arrows and the sizes. So I'll go to dimensions, modify. We'll set the text to be placed in between centered and above. Align with the dimension line, yes. And then this will be above and centered. And so I think the text for this, we could change it to 2. All right, so it sits on it, and it's quite tiny. The arrows are not showing, so I need to set the arrow, bigger arrow size. Let's make that 7. Okay. That's too big. Modify the arrow to be 1. Okay, so we can keep dimensioning now. Aligned. So click on the side you want it to be. We'll learn more about dimensions. For now, let's get the drawing done, and then most of all the settings, we can put them in. We can apply the settings of the dimensions. I'm going to pick the horizontal so I can do this one. That's 20 circles in the middle. Okay, so you can complete this and then send it to me in an email. And I'm glad I have to do this, so I know how that's going to work. By the time you keep drawing, you will become better, and it will not be hard for you to get a job. Thank you all for watching. See you tomorrow. I'll save my file and close it.